I'm originally actually from Bethlehem, the Holy Land, so it's where Jesus was born. And I come from a family. My dad is a cardiologist, and it was my mom. She was a teacher as well, and I have 4 siblings. So it's a big family. That's 5 kids.
It was really interesting to be raised by my family. We come from a middle class, very well-educated family who has passion toward education.
My dad, he was a leading in medical as a cardiologist, and he always kind of support us to go that route. So I know when I was growing up that I will be in medical field.
We learned a lot from my dad and my mom for sure, but my dad, he was a cardiologist. He was actually one of the first in the whole area, and he would treat anybody. It was not just about money. So he lived all of his life, and we could see that because he put us to work. We would go work in his office as a front desk, and we help him through this.
I think the greatest gift that any parents can give to their child is teaching them values.
Growing up, there's a lot of things that you cannot see at that point. But you go back in memory and you think, oh my goodness, he was right. And I wish I learned more.
They put multiple values in us: integrity, compassion, honesty, gratitude, and above all, responsibility.
One of the major values is you have a purpose in life, and how you had to fulfill that. It should be way bigger than money. It should be way bigger than anything, and then that's a driving force for you.
Our parents did not only teach us these values, they demonstrate these values on their daily basis.
The fact that he wasn't all about medicine, he was about what is behind medicine. It did really push me to think in a different way.
People would come at 2 a.m., knock on the door, and he would still see them. He would never, kick them out or anything. He would wake up, never said anything bad about them, never judged them, he was always ready to help.
We were raised to accept others, to understand others.
We grow up in this environment, and that always put our purpose first and ready to help first. And that's more in helping changing people's lives.
I decided to go for dentistry.
2 of my siblings are actually dentists, my elders, we're actually working together now. So Seim and Issa, they're actually the ones who went to dental school, and I kind of followed them through that.
We're able to work together because we're sharing the same values that we actually were raised with.
These are our main values that we have. That's actually in Signature Smiles.
Me, myself, I had a very bad experience as a child with my dentist. And I was complaining all the time. Every time I go to see my dentist, I had to go back and more work needed to be done.
If you have 10 people walking through the door, 8 of them are scared of the dentist. 2 of them, they're okay with it. Out of the 8, there's 2 of them, out of the 8, 2 of the 8 will admit that they're scared of the dentist. And they're here because we are an anxiety-free dental practice. We don't judge, and we deliver the greatest work. But guess what? There's 6 of them that they're hiding their fear.
I grew up going to the same dentist as soon as I could go to a dentist, all the way through high school. It was a painful experience. It wasn't very pleasant.
In Germany, the dentists were almost related to a butcher. A butcher was like no feelings. You just do your job, and then that's it.
In order to get the wisdom teeth out, he has to climb up on the chair, and he's standing, and his stomach's like in my neck as he's trying to pull this wisdom tooth out of my face, And so we get done, and I mean, so I'm like 0 for 2 with dentists, really, at this point.
And so that was like the beginning of being afraid of dentists.
As far back as I can remember, maybe 7, 8 years old, had a dentist that, as far as I was concerned, he believed in a hammer and chisel. And his favorite words were, it didn't hurt.
They just didn't have compassion. Maybe that's the word. Long term, looking at what was happening to me long term. There wasn't compassion for the fact that there was pain. I mean, they treated it, but they didn't treat it.
So this is the traditional way how dentistry is unfortunately being done. Is, you have some pain, you go to the dentist, they do some work, they may get you out of pain, but unfortunately nobody asks you even anything. They don't even ask you how you're doing, they don't ask you even, they don't care about the pain because they are mainly just to treat the tooth. They are mainly behind the tooth.
The fear of God came over me just thinking about it, just from his attitude towards patients. Now, I think it was all just from everything that happened when I was a child. I think I was just, even to this day, until I started coming here, I think everything just rooted there.
The one dentist I had was an old school guy, I guess. He's been doing it for years. Probably really didn't even care on satisfaction because he wasn't my dentist. So he just wanted my money. If I came back, he didn't really care.
That creates a circle that the patient even himself doesn't know that he's stuck in it. First time it's okay, patient gets you. I was like, okay, but then that start creating some avoidance to the dentist. And, patient's like, you know what, I'll skip dentist because it's going to be painful. Every time I go, it's more painful. And that's what we call the anxiety sinkhole. And they start getting into this circle. And what happened there is you start avoiding the dentist. Then you start actually getting more and more issues because staying away from the dentist is going to cause more issues.
I would just go to one here and there every time I got a toothache. So I never kept up on going to one constantly.
I didn't go to the dentist on a regular checkup. I went when I felt I had a need for something.
The one time I went to get a filling, they didn't give me enough Novocaine. So I actually felt the entire filling, and as they started drilling in, I said, stop, stop. And the dentist was like, oh, what's wrong? I said, I can feel all of that because I'm crying. And he said, oh, it's okay, we'll just finish up real quick. So then he finished the whole thing without any Novocaine, and then I was done.
I'm where I'm at now because my teeth got so bad and I knew that they were starting to separate and that I was going to have to definitely get into finding a new dentist that could actually help me and take care of me.
All the dentists I have worked with, which has only been like maybe 2 up until recently, have all been bad.
Seeing your parent and then getting drugged back into another room and closing the door in front of you, that threw me off. It was very, very traumatic.
My dad, he's a reader. He loved to read books. So he was reading one of his pharmacology books or whatever, and I was complaining, and he looked at me calmly, and he just said, be the change you seek. And he went back to reading. And it just struck me, and I decided to be a dentist. And this is when the journey started.
We're working on patients who are really anxious from having any dental procedure done, with patients that really had a really bad experience in the past.
You have to almost be a psychologist as a dentist. Believe it or not, maybe I put them on a high pedestal, but because you're dealing with emotions of a person, not only their mouth and their teeth, it is emotional. You have to deal with that. And so you need to kind of help the person.
Any person you meet in life, they have a code. And the only way to comfort them is to break that code. Breaking the code is to understand how they think, what they want, and their desires, which is how they want to live their lives.
I always had a little man sitting on my shoulder saying, "Now don't smile, don't," and then that would be it would pull me back off my confidence a little bit. It would not, I would not go all the way out like now, I would still hold back a little bit.
I have a belief behind every patient there's a story. You have to know their story, you have to know their needs, and you have to work on it. It's not about working on their teeth. It's about working on their needs, what they want, what they desire.
When we started Signature Smiles, we started it based on certain values, which we talked about. Mainly, your purpose should be bigger than money. Mainly that your performance should be bigger than applause. These are the major words. Future bigger than past. Confidence bigger, than your comfort. So we're always, pushing for the better. And that's actually how we build the team over here.
We believe that our mission is to change lives, one life at a time.
I'm here for one reason. I'm here to heal you.
One day, my manager came to me. She said, "Listen, I received this message, online, and you need to read it." It came from a lady who did not left her house for the last 2 years, and she was getting to the point that nobody was able to help her, and nobody is willing to help. She's like, "You're out of hope over here," and she get to the point that she actually wanted to commit suicide.
I'd been to several dentists, and they all told me that there was nothing they could do for me. I went to the implant places. They told me they couldn't help me. So when I saw Dr. Salameh, he was so confident that I can help you. He may have saved my life because I was in such a state of depression at that time and pain that I wasn't functioning. I wasn't functioning properly.
When you go to dental school, you think that they will teach you everything, but all they teach you is the basic.
Knowing that you're treating a human being behind the tooth is extremely important.
Okay, it's embarrassing to say I'm 55 years old and I cried in my chair because I was terrified of what was going to happen. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know how much I was going to be in pain. I was scared to death to have anybody even come near my mouth. And they calmed me down. They were able to talk to me and told me absolutely everything that they were going to do to me, and yeah, just made me feel so much more at ease.
Your teeth have always been something that you've discussed with me, and
I've never had trouble with my teeth until
that one dentist,
that one. Mm-hmm.
That one was the one that did it, and she's had numerous nightmares about. She wakes up one morning and she has no teeth. She loses all of her teeth.
I do. I have a lot of
it's a reoccurring
nightmares about that.
Knowing that we are literally a 4-minute drive from here, and she loves coming here for the treatment, I couldn't be happier.
Coming all together, working all together, and starting Signature Smiles, it actually gave me personally the opportunity to fulfill the purpose, to help my patient, to be there for them, and to change their lives.
When I look for any type of business or company, I like the family-owned, family-operated type of feel. We don't need corporations, we've got enough of those. We need people who are going to take time and actually make you feel like you're a part of something.
And then the last one before here was kind of a national chain dentist. It's very obvious that it's, it's an assembly line. But again, the procedure was rough, in and out, very non-personal. I was, in a waiting room with 17 people, and but I get it. That's what that is.
We all went through corporate, so we know exactly how it works, and it wasn't what we were looking for.
The issues with the corporate dentistry, it's unfortunately it's all about numbers, which is understandable. It's economy, overheads, pay, understanding. But you get to the point that you get really desperate from the system itself. You get to the point that you feel, I might use Omar's word, frustrated, because you cannot max on your delivery to your patients.
It was soul draining for me, because I will never see a good reward, what can I help the patient? It was just in and out, if maybe you build a relation here or there with one patient or two, but it was just too much. And when I actually started to build certain relations with patients, it was just not the way they wanted things be done.
When you walk through them front doors, that you feel comfortable, and they make you feel that way.
The last dentist I had, I mean, it just seemed like he was just over a bunch of dental hygienists, and you didn't get the same one when you went back.
Right.
I mean, they had like 12 of them, and whatever one was open is the one that you got.
Yeah.
Here, it's not that way.
I've gotten my teeth cleaned 4 times now, and I always get the same girl. It's like she's my hygienist now, and I'm not kidding you. She'll be cleaning my mouth, and we'll be having this conversation, and then she'll stop so I can answer her. It's great. So we just chat away about just totally personal things. But that's what I like, that they keep you with that same person.
It has changed my perception of them, of dentists in general, and I enjoy it. I actually don't mind coming here.
You're in good hands. You're getting good quality care here. I actually remember going home and telling my wife, I found my dentist.
The worst patients it hurts my feelings when I see. Usually they are 65 years old. And then when they show up to me, they say, "Doc, what's going on?" And I was like, "Hey, listen, the teeth are falling apart at this point." And they was like, "Oh man, when I was 57, I went to my dentist and I told him, hey, listen, I'm retiring. I want my teeth fixed, and can you do something?" And I spent $10,000, $12,000 trying to fix the teeth. And now at 65, they are all bad again. So I seen that. And when I first graduated, I used to be part of that till I was like, oh, wait a second, that's not working really. You're not dealing with somebody who's 22, had broken teeth, and you're trying to keep them maybe for some good reason. Just thinking the long term will actually make my life better, my patient's life better, and the outcome is very satisfying for the patients.
On my birthday, I think it was my 65th birthday, I would come in, he would try them on, he would tweak them. I would come back, I'd try them on, he would tweak them. And that last day, he tried them on me, and they just fit. I'm like, okay, we're finished. This is it. This fits. These feel good. I don't even want to take them back out. Until then, I didn't see any hope. No one had given me any hope for ever having teeth. His confidence just flowed over into me and gave me the confidence in him that this man is compassionate, he cares, he can think outside of the box, he knows what he knows.
They all know what they're doing, and they know how to do it with finesse. It's not just a job to them, it's a whole lot more.
When we're doing major dentistry, okay, and people who are investing big amount of money, it's not easy to come up with $25,000 or $50,000. That's a major investment. We agreed in Signature Smiles that we will never be done till 3 things happen. Okay, so the first thing is smile. We're not happy till they're happy. So we do smile analysis. We don't care. There's one major visit that we don't care if we do it 10 times over till they're like super happy about their smile.
They would ask me my opinion when they gave me some samples for the bottom. He'd say, "What do you think of that?" And I said, "I don't like that." He said, "I don't like it either, but what would we do different?" And so throughout the whole period, I was the one that got to say yes or no. And he said to me several times, if you're not happy, I'm not happy, which is kind of what I was looking for.
So we do smile analysis. They had to approve it. We always say, bring your spouse, bring friends, and all of that. They actually can go with the smile out for some time, even for temporaries. Till they're super happy, we're done with 1/3 of the treatment. That's what the checklist for us. Like, smile is good. Then the second one is function. And it's very hard to tell about function, And everybody want to eat a steak. A steak is the challenge, actually. And as we said, social life at 50 plus, 60 plus, it's all about socializing, and steak is important. It's important for me too. So we decided, what? We will never actually be done till actually we send our patients to a great restaurant and steakhouse, and it's on us, and they had to eat the steak, and they had to videotape it, and if everything is good and they can eat the steak, we're done with the second third. If not, we're not done yet. So if they cannot chew through a steak or bite through a steak, or there is a challenge over there, then we had to talk. Then we're not done with the treatment. We had to work on this.
We talking about health, nutrition. You have to eat healthy. You have to eat good. And if you cannot chew that on top of it, then you're going to have problems with digestion, which I had. And then I could eat steak. Oh, hallelujah. I go to a steak place and I eat a steak this thick and oh, yummy, yummy, yummy. I couldn't eat that.
Patients loves it because they are in full control of the treatment. They are actually in full control of when it's end. And they videotape it and they send it to us. Actually, it's on YouTube. You can go Google it and you see a couple of great videos over there. We just received one that's awesome, actually, from one of our patients. So it was great. And it's very rewarding to us, too. I mean, when you see the patient, we share it with the team. They love it. And that's the level of confidence we go into the work, that we know if we don't meet these expectations, we're not going to do it. If I'm doing something, and it's a long journey, whether it's short or long journey, whatever that is, and we customize a plan, that's my goal, is to get them to where they are happy with their smile and to get them where they are happy about their function. That's what they got them in first, and to make it as anxiety-free as possible. And I will not be satisfied till the 3. And the last thing we say, if you're happy about these 2, you better refer to us. So that's what we say.
Dr. Salameh and his team, which I know I've met the other dentist, but I just kind of ignore them because he's the greatest. He actually cares about people, and I know I keep repeating that, but I think that's what sets him apart. So when you find somebody that takes something so unnatural and makes it natural, I guess that's just how you know it's right. And I couldn't tell you how he does it. It's dentistry magic that he has, that he wakes up with every morning.
When you're trying to build an anxiety-free environment, money is the last thing you think about, because you're more addressing a major fear inside, so you're actually treating something beyond teeth. So you cannot just thinking money. You had to address a very deep level inside your patients, and it actually gets every person of the team, excited about it because they see that. So money is important at the end of the day. There's no question about it. But we actually have what we call the 3P principle, right? So the first P is actually our patients. That's where we put our patients first. And then the second P is actually our people, which is the team that we have. So we put our team second. And then the practice comes third. And that's kind of that's how we run the game.
To be honest, I cannot afford it, and I'm not going to do it. But the value I see now, the value of the money is really not that high comparing what I can do now. We're not talking only about smile.
When they first said this with the price, I was like, wow. But this is, the way I looked at it, we either took care of it now or come years down the road, we, may not be able to afford to have it done. How much more are we going to be able to take with our teeth decaying?
And I actually went online and looked around and got other people's experiences from other places and seen what they paid. So I kind of knew what to expect. So it wasn't out of the ballpark what they were. As a matter of fact, it was less than some.
I did a lot of research on the internet about options, and then I looked up places that were close by. I live in town here, so I saw that the office was here. I knew other people that had been here that had good things to say about them. My personal experience was I called them up and said, "Can you see me? And this is my problems." And they said, "Yeah, come on in for consultation, and we'll see what we can do." Then after being here and getting that advice, I did go to 2 other places and got some options. I liked the way they presented themselves. I liked their professionalism and their approach to communicating with me, and everything that they had to say about what my care was going to be.
It's feasible. It can be done, but you have to want it to do it.
They showed me the price right up front. Okay, listed everything they're going to do. 7-year guarantee.
One of the things we do is no surprise policy, because what happened with medical or dental health, and patients are used to that, is they go to do a procedure and then they got hit with 10,000 bills from 10 areas, like there is extra expenses, and that's what creates a lot of fear on these patients. So one of the things we do actually to prevent that from happening is actually, once we agree on a set price, that is A to Z price. You're never going to pay extra more, nothing, and there will be no surprises along the way.
I prayed before I came here and prayed if this is really the place that I'm supposed to go. And I felt like, yeah. And then when they told us how much money it is, I walked out and I talked to God like I talked to you, and I said, so Lord, you said me to go here, but I don't have the finances. And then I heard God saying, you're going to do this, 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 and it will fall into place. And I talked to my husband, and it fell all into the place with the finances. I said, wow, okay, we can do that.
It actually costs less than I thought it would.
We use their insurance as much as we can, and unfortunately, dental insurance does not provide everything, but we try to use it as maximize it as much as we can, and then we go from there.
I wish everybody could have this dental experience.
I'm sure anybody can sell you a set of dentures, but for someone to take the time to listen to what you're telling them, not what they think the problem is, but to what you tell them you're feeling, and then have the knowledge to take that information and put it in place so that they can fix what the problem is. That's worth more money than you can imagine.
I can't put an overall dollar amount on the treatment. You know, you can put a dollar amount on the procedure. You can't put a dollar amount on the treatment. You can lump them into one and say that a procedure is a treatment and a treatment is a procedure. But if you break the two in half, you can get a procedure anywhere. Where are you going to get the treatment? And the treatment is the minute you walk in the door, that's your treatment.
If you buy a car, that's $25,000, and you're going to trade that in 5 years. You know, you put $12,000 into your mouth, you got that for the rest of your life. You know. So when you put it on the grand scale, yeah, sure, it's more than a pair of jeans, but it's less than a car. And people don't have a problem buying a car.
This is a quality dentistry. It's not like the previous place where I went, where I was like, yes, this is the one I can afford.
We make sure anything we do, we guarantee it for 7 years. Anything happened to it, so there's no surprises. Make sure that we're not done till they're happy. That's the goal is. It's not about like, hey, in and out, be done, and hey, we think it's good, then you're good.
If we wait too long, that problem is going to escalate, and then we have more money that you have to dish out and bigger problems.
We do our own house financing, so we actually work with our patients to make it very affordable for them in-house actually, and we can do payment plans. There's actually, most of our patients actually do the in-house financing, and we also work with third-party financing. They actually can take the payments up to 7 years, which actually will make it very affordable for most of our patients, and it's literally like a car payment, even better.
Everything's gentle. Everything is, you know, I guess I would call it like white glove treatment almost.
My granddad was a very wise man, and he said, if you give up, you'll never get further than where you were at the time you quit. You'll get older, but you won't get any further.
They practice what they preach, because that's another thing. You know, working in corporate America or whatever you do, everybody's got a mission statement, you know, and everybody's got this is our vision, and it's really a piece of paper. They live by that here. It's pretty amazing.
We make sure that it's a judgment-free zone. We make sure it's an anxiety-free zone, and we make sure that they understand that, and we help them through that. And then we can talk money at the end. But we still had, after all of the analysis, I talked to the patient, and they just tell me what they want, and we do it. And whether we do from a simple cavity filling, that's saving the tooth for the rest of their life, or whether we're doing a big treatment plan, it doesn't matter. I know that relationships, it does not happen that quick. I mean, I myself, when I go to my doctors, or I just go. I like the doctors who spend time with me and who likes to talk more of a long term, because I'm looking for a relation. I don't like to change doctors every day, and I don't want to change patients every day. So we're mainly looking for people who cannot find any help, anywhere else, who is scared of the dentist to help them through it. And knowing that, we started to look for two things in any patient we'd like to have. Because unfortunately, there are some patients, we may not be the right fit for them. But most of our patients, they had to be scared of the dentist most of the time. We still see different patients, but scared of the patient, that's the number filter. That's the one that we really can help and change their lives. So if you're really scared of the dentist, you should not go anywhere else. We know how to deal with that. We have all of the options for that, and that's what we can help you through it. We also try to, we talk to the patients, we interview them, and they interview us. And it's the same way. Sometimes we don't feel comfortable working with some patients. It's just they are so focused on certain way of doing, work. If I don't feel comfortable about it, I would say, sorry, I cannot do it. And whether they decide to leave us or not, but I will not do anything that will compromise my values, myself. I will never give an advice if I felt like I would never give it to my wife or my mom or my father. So that's the one thing. Sometimes, unfortunately, patients wanted to just do things their way, which is kind of could hurt them in the long run. And I would not do that. So that's where we actually, we don't lose patients usually, but that's where we lose patients, unfortunately.
But if you're lucky enough to actually end up with the right people who are willing to listen and understands your need and wants and work with you and help you overcome the obstacles throughout the way, you will get there.
I was coming in here for the same thing, for a quick fix. And they're like, we could do that, but you're going to be back in here. And Dr. Omar's just sat down and explained, first of all, it's not doing you no good. I've had a heart attack at 39. I don't know if it was because of the infections in my mouth year after year. You know what I mean? I mean, I took care of them as they came up.
They seem to genuinely care about you. Not just getting the work done, not just, you're not a name, you're not a number, you're a name.
They didn't rush me to make any decisions. They checked everything out thoroughly, explained everything to me, and I realized, wow, yeah, I should listen to them because I trusted them, and I'm happy that I did.
When you find one office and they treat you with utmost respect, you're getting quality, and they're not pushy, it just makes you have a good sense that you're in the right place.
I don't think it's a slogan or it's not a used car pitch. It's hey, he truly cares about his patients. He cares about patients in general. If you haven't talked to him, he'll tell you he got into this because he wanted to be an option for people who were terrified to go to the dentist or had aversions to going to the dentist. And yeah, it resonates top to bottom in the practice.
They go way above and beyond anything I've ever experienced in my life, and it's awesome.
Our goal is to help actually by 2028 is to fill the Q Arena seats with that's how many patients are scared of the dentist, and we help them to jump over that barrier.
The best way to find yourself is by losing yourself and servicing others.
It's a long-term friendship relationship, and that's what we're trying to bring back to the dental profession.
I was always self-conscious the way I talked to people. If I laughed, I would 99% of the time would cover my mouth because of the issues that I had. So having this done, and it didn't take long for me to stop doing this because I know what I have now it's 100% better than what I had prior to. So it boosts my confidence. And I'm sure it boosted Kevin's too.
Getting these in, it's just like you're right back out there, not missing a beat, just enjoying life, and you can smile, and all your pearly whites are there, and you can go eat and not have to depend on mashed potatoes and
We're glued to gluing your dentures.
Right.
I just didn't want any more problems with my teeth. I didn't want to have to worry ever again about something breaking or shifting.
I looked in the mirror, I cried. I cried for joy. The smile was never there as bright as now. I am so happy to smile at you. I go out there and people say, oh my God, you got a beautiful smile, you know. You get your dignity brought back to you, you know. You are somebody again.
I'm digging the implant. It feels just like that's my tooth. It feels like that's the tooth I was born with, you know.
I have very much feel of my teeth, being that they're not real teeth. I was surprised at how much I can feel what's in my mouth, and it's not just like I have my mouth full of some foreign substance and it's acting as teeth. They feel natural.
I get a lot of compliments on how straight my teeth are, or how great they look, how pretty my smile is. I wish I would have done it a lot sooner.
Confidence in just regular life now, where, I mean, I've talked to anybody that would talk back to me for the last 15 years, but it's even become more apparent now that I don't have to worry about what I look like. Not that my life was bad before, but it's better now.
So there was a part of myself that I was very embarrassed about, and I felt like I was failing at, which you might think, oh, it's just teeth. But no, it's a part of your body, and when you feel like you can't take care of it, it's like, what am I doing wrong? So I was embarrassed. I felt like I was failing at it, and then you add a bad experience on top of that, and you're like, oh, great, it is me. I'm a problem, and it's just going to be like this forever. Coming here and finding relief from the fear, first of all, because even thinking about the dentist used to just freak me out. So finding relief from the fear, finding how to take care of myself, finding that I'm not a problem, that there were just a few things that needed fixed, has made me more confident.
I'm healthier, yeah, because I couldn't eat good foods because of the pain. I couldn't drink hot coffee. I couldn't drink cold milk.
The things that I do now that I couldn't do then, all different in the world. I can show you pictures back before I had it done, and there was never a smile. You know, there was a grin, but you're never going to see any teeth. And now, they're like, can you smile any bigger than that? I'm like, nope, that's it. You know, and you just feel good about it, you know, and you feel good about yourself. And if you can't feel good about yourself, nobody else is going to.
The money was well spent. And considering that Kevin and I have always put everybody else before ourselves, if it wasn't a family member or if it wasn't our own children, it was finally nice that we got to a point in our life that we can actually do something for ourselves.
He matched my teeth perfectly. From, I think I was like 26 or 7 in the picture. It was right after the crowns. They're identical. Go see Dr. Salameh. Go see him, because if there's any hope, he's going to find it.
It seems too good to be true until they actually come and they're surprised that we're not just a dental office. They don't even feel that they are in a dental office. They come here and they feel comfortable. And the very first thing they say, it feels like home. And that's exactly what we want our patient to feel. They're part of our family. We want them to come here and feel that they're just at home.